Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our
Ciao
podcast.
guys.
Today we start with the big news of the week is Semenyo and Manchester City.
Yes, because Man City complete a signing we've been announcing here on the pod for some time, here with our friends of Men in Blazers. I told you I think this is going to be one of the first big moves in 2026, and well, that's the case, because Antoine Semenyo is ready to make his move to Manchester City. All the documents have been signed between Man City and Bournemouth. It's a £65 million move for Antoine Semenyo, ready for medical test in the next hours, so it's a matter of short time, and then medical contract signing for Semenyo after a crazy race, because it all started around the end of October with Tottenham calling, then Chelsea made an inquiry, Manchester United tried with Ruben Amorim, who was a big fan of the player. Now he's no longer at the club, but Amorim was pushing to have Antoine Semenyo at Manchester United, and then also Liverpool calling for the player, but Antoine Semenyo decided to go to Man City, decided to work under Pep Guardiola. He's really targeting trophies. That's what he wants to do. And so this season and for the future, Antoine Semenyo is really optimistic about this Man City project. So deal done, £65 million, and a huge signing for Manchester City.
Another big topic for this January transfer window, again after the summer, is Marc Guehi. So what's the latest?
Yeah, Marc Guehi could be a different story compared to the summer, because what we saw in the summer is that Crystal Palace tried to resist till the very end to keep the player at the club, and well, on deadline day the deal was done with Liverpool. The player had a medical, and then because of Igor, the defender that was gonna join Crystal Palace, not joining anymore from West Ham, well, that completely changed the story. But what I can tell you is that for Marc Guehi now is a completely different story, because even Oliver Glasner, the manager of Crystal Palace, who will not sign a new contract at the club, remember that story, he's now confirming that the doors are open. In case of good proposal now in January, Marc Guehi could leave the club. And so keep an eye on Manchester City, because Man City already reached out to his agents. They are really interested in Marc Guehi. There are several clubs prepared to sign Guehi on a free transfer in the summer, because he's going to leave Crystal Palace on a free. And so there is for sure Liverpool, there is for sure Bayern. Also Arsenal made some calls a few weeks ago to understand the situation of Marc Guehi. So there will be a crazy battle in the summer over a free deal, but Man City want to do the deal now, following the injuries of Ruben Dias, the injury also of Joško Gvardiol. They are very keen on Marc Guehi. Let's see what the player decides.
And what about another defender, Upamecano? Looks like another big story for this January transfer window.
Yes, because for Upamecano we heard several things, and I always told you here on the pod, keep an eye on Bayern, because Bayern will not give up easily on this one. Okay, Upamecano is out of contract in summer 2026, in June, and so obviously many clubs called. Paris Saint-Germain have called. Real Madrid, the story was about Real Madrid having an agreement with Upamecano. I've always been told that was not the case. Real Madrid spoke with the agents but never sent any official proposal. And so several clubs interested, but Upamecano is now on the way and ready to sign a new contract at Bayern. The update I can give you is that the verbal agreement between Upamecano and Bayern is done on the structure of the contract, on the length of the contract, on the salary as well. So everything is almost done. Just one final important detail to sort is about the exit release clause. So there will be a release clause into the contract of Upamecano. Now Bayern and agents are talking about when the clause will be active, when will be available, and also obviously the financial value of the clause. So the negotiation is only now on the release clause, all the rest is agreed, and so I think Upamecano will put pen to paper and sign new deal at Bayern very soon.
Talking about Bayern Munich, I think it was really surprising to hear the words of Lennart Karl about his future, talking about Real Madrid. Do you expect him to become a Real Madrid player in the future?
Well, never say never, of course, because Real Madrid can only be happy. People at Real Madrid in the management were only happy to see those public statements, even on camera, by Lennart Karl. It's not a text, it was on camera with Sky in Germany, so obviously for Real Madrid they were quite happy about that. But at the moment that's it. Don't forget that Bayern extended the contract of Lennart Karl in the summer before he started becoming Lennart Karl as we know him now. Bayern also, from what I told, are preparing a new contract proposal even now for 2026 for Lennart Karl, with a better salary after he scored 6 goals and delivered 2 assists in few months, and so they are prepared to give him what he deserves. Then on those statements, Bayern say that the boy is very honest, he's a very simple guy, he's a 17-year-old kid, and so he was just sharing a dream, but nothing more than that. He was not meaning to disrespect Bayern, not meaning to create a problem to Bayern, so that was the message from the club. Still very happy with Lennart and hoping to sign a new contract as soon as possible.
Touching on Real Madrid, there was a rumor about a bid worth under 25 million for Vinicius. We know there are always rumors about Vinicius, What do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I think this story, I don't want to disrespect anyone, but checking with all sources at Chelsea, at Real Madrid, close to Vinicius, all people are telling me that there is absolutely zero into it. Zero. So Chelsea are not negotiating for Vinicius, are not calling for Vinicius, didn't send any bid to Real Madrid. Also, Vini is completely focused on Real Madrid now. It's a huge month. There is a Spanish Super Cup. There is the World Cup incoming in the summer. Real Madrid are still competing for all trophies. So at the moment, Vinicius is not negotiating with anyone. And also, if you know Chelsea, and I think our friends here on Men in Blazers know, I'm always saying that. It was also the case for Rodrigo a few months ago. Chelsea are not going to sign players with crazy salaries. Chelsea are going to be smart. Chelsea are going to follow their strategy. Of course, if you sign Vinicius, it's always a good idea, but the salary structure at Chelsea is different compared to Real Madrid or other clubs. And so at this stage, I'm not aware of any negotiation or contract.
One of the stories of these first week, 4 days of January, was the move of João Cancelo back to Barcelona. It was quite surprising to see all the twists in the story. So how did they finally sign a player like Cancelo?
Yeah, that was not the original plan. The original plan was to go for a centre-back, replacing Andreas Christensen. Then what happened is that probably when they considered to add a centre-back to the squad, Ronald Araujo was not in the best mental condition following that Chelsea game, and so Barcelona were really considering to add a centre-back to the squad. Then, no top centre-backs available on the market, no cheap options available on the market. Barcelona were aware of the opportunity to go for João Cancelo, and Cancelo has been pushing like crazy to leave Al Hilal and go to Barca. Despite an agreement between Inter and Al Hilal done for João Cancelo, Barcelona have always been his priority. So the player has been waiting. The player didn't sign with Inter for 4, 5, 6 days just because he was waiting for Barcelona. And then in a meeting between the president, Laporta, the director, Deco, and Hansi Flick, they decided for Cancelo because he can play at right back, left back, help also as a winger when needed. Jules Koundé can cover the centre-back position when Cancelo is playing on the right. Same for Eric Garcia. So Barca believe that this is a very smart opportunity on the market. They will pay 4 million euros in terms of loan coverage to Al Hilal for João Cancelo for the next 6 months. So we will see in the summer what they decide to do. But for Cancelo is a big opportunity, and also for Barca to add an important player to their roster this month.
A lot of rumors also on Federico Chiesa and a possible comeback to Italy this week.
Yes, because the situation of Federico Chiesa is one to watch, I would say, in this January window. It's not an easy one to watch, because Liverpool have not this desire to let Federico Chiesa leave. The situation of Fede is quite open at this stage, in the sense that Juventus are trying, Napoli also called, but Napoli can't include an obligation to buy in the deal because of the restrictions on the market, and so at the moment they are not that hot on the Federico Chiesa topic. Juventus are really interested. They are a big fan of the player. One of the key figures at the club, Giorgio Chiellini, knows Chiesa so well. Luciano Spalletti, so for sure Chiesa is aware of Juventus' interest. But this depends on the formula of the deal. For Liverpool must be a permanent transfer with good money or nothing. They are more than happy to keep Chiesa. So let's see what Juventus decide to do, but for sure he's a top target for Juve this winter, and so we will see if they will be able to reach an agreement with Liverpool. At the moment, Liverpool are still not making it easy.
Let's conclude this episode with talents, young talents, also for the future. Who is one midfielder you want to mention that can make a nice and big move in 2026?
I think we will be busy on the podcast talking about Kes Smith in the next months. This Dutch midfielder from AZ Alkmaar, 19 years old, because behind the scenes of the market, there is a crazy battle to sign this boy. Real Madrid are following him. The big Premier League clubs are all interested in Kes Smith. I don't think he's going to leave in January. My information is that this move is likely to happen in the summer transfer window, and it's going to be way higher transfer fee than the reported 45-50 million euros now. For example, Newcastle were prepared to break the bank and pay even more than 50, around 60 million euros for Kes Smith now in January. But at the moment, what I'm told is that AZ Alkmaar want to keep the player and is likely to leave in the summer transfer window with several top clubs keen.
And what about a winger?
I also have a winger for you, and this is Yan Diomande from Leipzig, this talent. This is a huge talent, very fast player, very good at dribbling, also producing goal contributions. For him, there are several clubs keen. Man United and Tottenham have sent their scouts multiple times to follow Yan Diomande. It's going to be very difficult for January. Most likely solution similar to Kes Smith is going to be a summer move. There is also Paris Saint-Germain following the boy. So I think Yan Diomande, Kes Smith are going to be two of the gems of the market in 2026. And part of a very, very busy summer transfer window.
Thank you, Fabri, for that. Talk to you very soon.
Thank you. Ciao, guys.